What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast, featuring your host, my man to the right of me, Slimothy Jones, otherwise known as Slim. You can find him on X at RTR30111, and myself, you can find me at Scotty Drown. I go by Scotty. That being said, in this episode, you can see it in the title. We're going to get into playoff matchups. We're going to start with a recap of the play-in tournament so far. We'll start at Tuesday, go through last night's matchups, and then we'll talk about tomorrow's matchups to ultimately earn those final 8 seeds. And then we're going to get into the first round matchups of the postseason, and we're going to go from there. We'll see where the conversation takes us. I got a couple questions mixed in there as well. But Slim, before we get into all that, my man, I skipped this part on the last show for whatever reason. I don't know if I was nervous or what. But what's up? How's your day going, my man?
Doing pretty good, man. Obviously I can't complain because if I had, I wouldn't be here. But yeah, man, doing pretty good. And my Warriors solidified themselves as a playoff team. So no better feeling than that. And hey, here we are again to recap that. So yeah, let's get
Good
this shit
call
started.
out. Good call out. Hey, I respect it. You guys did lock up the spot. That was a tough game, tough matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, they were trying to lock up a playoff spot as well. Those guys are motivated over there. You got a great game from Desmond Bain out there, but playoff Jimmy. What can we say? Hey, let's just start right there, bro, because that's most of the time we're going to spend in the play-in is going to be on that Memphis and Golden State game. So let's just start right there, bro. Takeaways from that game for you. Obviously, locking up the 7th seed in the West.
I would have to say Batman and Robin. Batman and Stephen Curry and Robin and Jimmy Butler.
Okay, I was about to ask, but fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that was my huge takeaway from the game. Like Jimmy pretty much set the tone for the whole team. He dropped 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in the first half. You could just tell he was laser
Yeah.
locked in. And by the way, I will say this, man. Like Jimmy made a 7'5" big man look like a kid out there. Like Zach Edey was guarding him, and he was just murdering him. He was giving him
Why
so
they
much
would do that?
space. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would they even set the rookie up for that? Like, if you was concerned about Jared Jackson guarding Jimmy and then getting to foul trouble quick, I could somewhat understand that. But the way I would look at it, like, okay, why not just have Zach Edey just cheat off Draymond? Just play free safety or whatever. He don't have to actually guard Jimmy. It's just not a smart decision. And they
Yeah, I
actually
don't get
stuck with
that.
their game plan the whole game. They did not switch the matchup up at all. So yeah, but nonetheless, man, shout out to Jimmy. He set the tone. And Steph Wood us to the promised line. He scored like 15 points in the fourth quarter to help close that game out. And man, we ended the game out in great fashion. So yeah, man, it was a good win for us. Then on Memphis side, those guys were hooping as well. Like you said, Desmond Bain, he was he was balling, man, for sure. And got to commend him on that. And John Moran was balling before he got injured or whatever. But
Yeah.
it was for sure a great game. A lot at stake there, and I'm just glad my team came out with the W, man. So yeah.
I feel that. I do have some questions once again about the rotation, just because we talked about it earlier this week.
Mhm.
But I'll save that for a little bit later here. I agree with everything you said. I think Jimmy was fantastic in this one. I think he really showed his IQ. Udonis Haslam talked a lot about that on the broadcast.
Yeah.
About he basically said he's one of, if not the smartest player that he's played with. Comparing him to like LeBron and D Wade, stuff like that. I get it, because when you look at the way he plays, the patience once again that he plays with, he showed it a little bit on Sunday against the Clippers, even more on display in this game against the Grizzlies. The patience, it kills the defense every time, because everything else is moving so quickly in this offense. The way Steph moves around in this offense, it's so quick, it's herky jerky. But then here comes Jimmy taking his time, moving at his own pace. And I really just think it throws the whole defense off in the approach to this Golden State offense. The ability to get to the free throw line is, once again, that's just going to be so killer in the postseason, man. Even and I say this because the way Jimmy draws fouls is a little bit different than the way other players draw fouls. It's clearly contact. Like every and one that he get, like they're clearly grabbing his arm. He's going up. It's all about timing. It's not about the contact itself. It's about the timing. He pump fakes, and when he goes up for that layup, you can see he's clearly getting grabbed on most of those attempts. He usually finishes them, and he gets to the free throw line repeatedly that way. And so I don't think that's something that's going to disappear in the postseason, is what I'm trying to say. They will start calling less whistles for sure, especially on a lot of the forced stuff. But I just think the way Jimmy plays, he is very intelligent with the way he plays. Obviously, it shows on the defensive end as well. Great win, though. Great win. I do have a question. Obviously, Jonathan Kuminga doesn't play in this game. Didn't really matter in this one, I guess, when you get the W. What, like, is there an issue there? Like, what is that in your opinion? Are you worried not about that going into the postseason, but just about moving forward, Kuminga as part of the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, man, your guess is honestly as good as mine. Like, I really
Is
don't
he
know
injured?
what's. No, he's definitely not injured. I don't know what's really going on. Like you said, like you kind of overlook it because we won the game, so it isn't nothing to just really dive into. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we all know how talented this dude is. Why is he not playing? But I'll say this, man. Like, if he go throughout this whole playoffs without playing that one game, I could definitely see him not being here anymore. And I think we would really need him in a series against Houston. Like his athleticism, he's young, he can run up and down the court. He can guard. So hopefully, Steve Kerr and the coaching staff just come up with some type of game plan to utilize him because I definitely feel like he can be a key factor in helping us beat Houston. But yeah, man, for sure, he definitely should play.
Yeah, I do agree. It's something that obviously I don't understand, but let's look at the whole picture here, though. Obviously, Steph, Jimmy, they go off in this one. I think one of my bigger takeaways, and I'm sure it's the same for you watching them all season.
Hmm.
Pods, Moody, Hield, these guys they need to show up consistently in the postseason if the Warriors are going to win consistently in the postseason. I'm sure you've seen this down the stretch with you watching each and every one of their games.
Yeah.
38 from Jimmy, 37 from Steph. It's great for a one-game sample. But when you look at a team like Houston, not to get into that too early, it's a very deep team. They're
Hmm.
going to be able to get buckets, and on a night-to-night basis, Pods, Moody, those guys are going to be important. But I'm not like trying to teach that to you. I know you know that.
Yeah.
That was just one of my takeaways from watching the game myself.
It's a good takeaway.
Those guys got to step up.
Yeah.
It's more about
This.
consistency than ceiling
Yeah, for sure.
in a sense.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from because, like, Jimmy, he shouldn't have to drop 38 every game, and Steph shouldn't have to drop 36 every game. So I see where you're coming from. Like, the others are going to have to step up. And to your point, like, Buddy Hill, you're pretty familiar with him.
Yeah.
Hopefully his shooting, come alive when needed. So, hey, we'll see. And then Moses as well, just being more consistent and Pods, just got to bring that toughness, that physicality, just scoring the ball or down for loose balls, taking
Yeah.
charge, whatever. The little things that translate to winning games. So, yeah, man, we'll see. But nonetheless, those guys definitely have to be consistent if we want to win a championship.
Quentin Post, he was solid in this one. Hit a
Yeah,
couple
for sure.
threes.
Yeah, I think we had like 3 threes, if I'm not mistaken. So,
He could be big down the stretch as well.
mhm.
Yeah, I do agree with D-Rab here, but that's obvious. Like, yeah, they're going to key on Steph. They always do. I think they'll obviously start paying more attention to Jimmy defensively as a scorer, I guess I should say. Like, obviously, he's always a threat, but he's obviously turned the scoring switch on recently and has
Playoff
been
Jimmy.
cooking.
Playoff Jimmy is a real thing, man.
I do want to save a little bit of the Warriors talk for later when we talk about that Rockets matchup, because I think that's where most of this
Yeah,
is like gravitating towards right now.
yeah.
Let's just stay in the Western Conference. Let's talk about last night's Western Conference game. Then we'll switch over to Eastern Conference. In the West, we had the Kings. Me and you both, I believe, thought the Kings were going to come away with this W going into this
I want to
matchup.
say, we did, yeah. Yeah, I think we did, yeah.
The Mavs come out here and lay a smacking on them, bro. Clay, the
Redemption game.
flashback,
Redemption.
rewind.
redemption. Last year he went
Oh,
0-10 in the play-in game. No better way to redeem yourself than to go out there and drop 23 points. So yeah, man, it's a nice sight to see for sure. Instead of lighting the beam, they crashed the beam.
you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah,
The
man.
Kings, man, the Kings. Disappointing to say the least. Sabonis, he came out of this game saying, you wouldn't believe it. He said, "We need a point guard."
Hmm. It's
You don't
interesting.
say.
Yeah, you don't say. Because essentially, like Zach LaVine is a scoring guard. You
Yeah,
can slide him over to the one. But he's not a true point guard. Same thing with Malik Monk because they were starting him at the one, but Malik Monk is more so of a
interesting.
bucket getter than a
Yeah,
playmaker. So yeah, he's actually right because I think that he's their best playmaker, Sabonis, and
yeah,
they need
literally.
they really do need a point guard. So
That's probably why he's saying that, honestly. But
yeah, but
yeah, they do, and they
it's
had
crazy. They fired their GM and
they had
everything
De'Aaron
last night.
Fox.
Yeah, they had Fox. Did you see that they fired their GM last night?
The Kings, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, I did see that. Which, I mean, you look at the talent that's gone out, where it's gone. I guess I get it. They got to go in a new direction. Just feels like nothing's working. You got DeRozan and Levine. Like my thing is, we had DeRozan and Levine in Chicago, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But then they go and they do the same exact thing in Sacramento. I don't understand the thought
Yeah.
process there at all. DeRozan had a game last night. He scored 30 plus. I think he scored like 33 or something like that. Um, but
It
it's
wasn't
just
enough.
not a great fit. I don't know where they're gonna go. I guess they're gonna try to move one of those guys. Is Levine under contract?
I think he may have like 2 more years on his deal. I
Yeah,
want to say.
that makes
So,
sense.
and then also
So,
to your point, like with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, I seen I think it was ESPN that made a post like they went from the play-in game in the Eastern Conference with the Chicago Bulls to the play-in game with the Sacramento Kings, and they
yeah.
still came up short. So,
And
yeah,
they were favored in this game. Like this is a
yeah,
Mavs
they
team
were.
that lost Kyrie Irving. They're actually a lot beat up. Anthony Davis had just recently returned from injury himself. He goes out there
Yeah.
and is the best player on the court. It surprised me a good bit, honestly. The Clay obviously, I believe I saw he hit 3 or 4 threes
In a row.
in a row, like
I,
within a
for sure,
certain
three.
like a
For
short
sure,
amount
three.
of time.
It was for sure three. Um, I say this, man. Like I don't know if I picked the Kings to win. I can't remember, but I ain't gonna
You
lie.
did. You did.
I was low key thinking about that too because I was like, man, in a one game setting with a what's on the line here, who would I rather have in that situation? AD and Clay or DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine? And I'm not going to lie to you, I would say AD and Clay. If I'm being honest, like due to
Yeah.
their history, So yeah, it was interesting. But Clay
You
to
throw
me,
Sabonis in, it's a wrench, though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
that is true.
it
Yeah,
creates this trio, but they're kind of like a clunky fit in a sense. So it's once
yeah,
again like Levine and DeRozan. It's not necessarily like overlapping talents, but
hmm
they don't have a point guard. So who's
yeah.
getting the ball? Who's going to play make? I don't understand it either. So I don't know where they go. But this leads us ultimately to a Mavs and Grizzlies showdown for the 8 seed, bro. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are there after we see these two teams square off in their respective playing game ones, whatever you want to call them. Now they're here battling for the final spot in the West. Where's your mind go when you see this matchup between the Mavs and the Grizzlies in a one-game setting?
Um, it depends on like how healthy is Ja. I know he injured his ankle against us. I don't know, if he's going to be close to 100% or if he will even play in this game. So, um, I think he's the key. Like if he can get him like 85%, you know, of himself, then I think that they can beat them for sure. If not, then I think the Mavericks can win this for sure. Because I think last night, I don't even know if the Mavericks really had a point guard out there. I know they had a starting lineup of Marshall, PJ, Clay, AD, and Derek Lively. That's one heck of a tall defensive lineup right there. So, um, yeah, because Spencer Dinwiddie didn't play last night, and they got this guy. His last name is Williams. I think he like a shooting guard or something.
Brandon
But
Williams. Yeah, I saw he
he
hit
had like 17.
He hit a couple threes.
Mhm.
I watched a good bit of the first half. It got kind of out of hand, and I decided to just call it a night and go to sleep. But um,
Yeah, I agree, D-Rab. If Ja don't play, then the Mavs definitely going to handle business for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, I agree with that. And I do see what you mean about their starting lineup last night.
Yeah, they had a
Who
tall lineup.
who was bringing the ball up?
Man, when I was
Was
watching
it
the game,
Clay?
it was an effort. It was everybody. AD was bringing the ball up. Clay, PJ, Marshall. You know,
Interesting.
everybody but D Live. So,
That's interesting. And they do have Caleb Martin who can handle the ball a little bit. He only had 12 minutes though.
hmm
Dante Exum. I did see a little bit of him.
yeah, he
That's
was
funny.
showing.
That's when I turned the shit off. Because I
Uh,
had money on the Kings too. So I was like, nah,
come
man.
on, this
Fuck
dude here,
this.
bro.
Fuck this, yo. When I saw Dante Exum get like a dunk, and that might have been in the second half, actually, I decided to turn it off. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even notice that when I was watching, but you're right. There's no signs of a point guard in that starting lineup, and barely one coming off the bench.
yeah.
Um, what would you say? 1 out of 10, scale of 1 to 10, chances of the Mavs beating the Grizzlies for that 8 spot.
I'm gonna go a solid 8.
8. Ooh. So you like the Mavs in this one? You like the Mavs?
Yeah, I like the Mavs though for
Questionable
sure.
Ja. Even if he plays, he is
Yeah,
injured.
even if he plays, I don't just see them really beating them for real. Because I think to me, AD is going to be the X factor. Like if he can get Triple J and foul trouble real quickly,
Yeah.
then that's going to leave the rookie Zach Edey on the island with him. And I like 80 chances against him. So, yeah.
Yeah.
As well as
That's
they
a
got
good
a
way to
good
put it.
defensive tandem over there. They got a lot of guys that can switch, guard multiple positions. So I had to go to Mavericks in that one.
Yeah. Because, like, when you don't have a point guard, but you have a bunch of guys that can guard, you
Yeah,
know,
multiple
borderline one through
positions.
five, right? Like, there's a
hmm
couple exceptions there, but yeah, that is interesting. So, how much of a disappointing season would this be if the Memphis Grizzlies go out in the play-in tournament, man?
Man, I mean, they did fire their head coach, so I
It
mean,
would fit the trend, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know what direction they looking to head. And I started to see rumors about John Morant getting traded this summer, but the GM did hurry up and clear that up.
said,
He
nah,
came out and he did come out and clear that up, though. I will say that, but
it won't be
yeah,
them. It'll be him that wants out type
yeah.
shit.
So, but we've seen this move before, though.
Yeah.
Where GM said that they won't trade this player, and then when that good trade offer come across, then you're moving that person. So
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do.
yeah, do what's
Man,
best for the team.
who do you think's the better matchup for OKC in the first round? I know none of them are favorable, but who do you
Um,
think would match up better? Let's just say Ja is healthy. Let's say he's healthy.
yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas. I think they match up better, and it starts with the front court: AD,
Yeah.
Derek Lively, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. You pretty much match up. I mean, I obviously know Kyrie. That's a huge loss, but I just like them. I like the guys they got on their team defensively. I feel like they can throw some schemes at the Thunder that they probably haven't seen yet. And yeah, I had to go Dallas in that one.
Yeah. And I think you at least have a little bit of leadership there as well,
AD,
a little bit
Clay.
of stability in Dallas compared to Memphis right now, where it just feels like everything is going a bit haywire. The injuries, obviously, going out of the game against the Warriors with an injury.
Yeah,
Um, it feels like they're trending towards leaving the postseason and this whole scenario. They need a break. They need to go regroup over this off season. So yeah, I do kind of agree, man. I think you kind of talked me into it throughout the show here, and just going over and really thinking about it, like AD, Clay, the pedigree that goes along with that, what they should be able to do in a one-game scenario against the Memphis Grizzlies that are kind of, I don't want to say spiraling, but you fire your GM and your head coach. I mean, the Sixers didn't even do that.
Hold up, my brother. You got it mixed up. The Memphis Grizzlies just fired their head coach, not their GM.
Yeah, my bad. I got it confused with Denver. You're right.
Denver.
You're right. The head coach.
But nonetheless, that's still not. If you do something like that, it's still kind of,
mid-season to a guy like Taylor
saying.
Jenkins. It's interesting. I'll go with the Mavericks as well in that one. Let's switch it over to East and let's go through these a little quicker so we can get to the actual first round matchups. But Hawks Magic, Trae Young, man, like really disappointed in this one. He gets ejected.
Man, this is crazy. I was texting you a D-Rab, bro. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I must have been high to say that the Hawks should have beat the Magic. I don't know what I was thinking when I said that, bro. I regretted that shit. When I was watching the game, I was like, what was I thinking? Like, what? But, yeah, man, I mean, shout out to Cole Anthony Black. Those boys are balling out there, man.
Yeah. That's what caught me off guard, too, is like, okay, like, I did pick the Magic to win, but not like that. Like, I said Paolo and Franz, like, big games. No, it was Cole Anthony and Anthony Black, the Anthonys.
The Anthonys.
Hey, if they can play like that, Orlando's dangerous. Like, with Paolo playing well, with Franz playing well, it's just, can they do that consistently?
Yeah.
I don't know.
In a one game set, but see, that's why I told you, bro. Like, see, players like that, they have those type of games in a one game setting.
Yeah.
They know what it's. See, me, I thought a guy like Karis LeVert, would have probably popped off like that, but I was clearly wrong. So,
Yeah, the Hawks struggled in general, man. Like it really feels like nobody had a great game. Trae had 28 and 6, but he was 8 for 21 from the field. Gets frustrated over some calls not going his way.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, Anthony Black got to chase down block on him. I guess he didn't appreciate that. So.
Yeah, he was pissed. Wendell Carter, he had a decent game, 19, 7, and 8 for 12 from the field. We'll see if those guys can continue to step up. They're going to need it against the Boston Celtics.
Against the Boston Celtics, for sure.
So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. You look over at the Heat and Bulls, man. Bulls home against the Miami Heat, who appeared to be spiraling a little bit, not winning a lot of games down the stretch of the regular season. The Tyler Hero show.
Man, was he cooking? What's so crazy? Like, was the Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors the only like good play-in game? Because the other games, like everybody was getting blown out. Like the Hawks, they got blown out. The Bulls got blown out, and the Kings got blown out. So it's like, what is going on here? But man, Tyler Hero was cooking, and Kobe White really struggled in his matchup for sure. So I got to give credit to Davion Mitchell. They call him off night for a reason. And Kobe White really had an off night. So yeah.
Hey, Davion Mitchell, he's a little Pat Bev in the making.
I don't know, because Pat Bev, he get real sensitive if he hears something like that. So, because Kawhi allegedly told Patrick Bev that Chris Dunn was another him. He didn't appreciate that. So, but I see where you coming from. He does.
I mean, Chris Dunn. I mean, he does kind of play like that.
He's one heck of a defender, bro. I'm not gonna.
I mean, he can be his own player. Like that's fine. Like he's. I mean, Chris Dunn is solid for sure.
Yeah, but man, Davion Mitchell. He had Kobe White in the straitjacket, so
hit the floater late too. Took who did he take to the rack? Was it Giddey? I think he took Giddey to the rack and hit the floater over him.
It was Giddey, bro. It was Giddey.
That's when he knew he was feeling it. That's when you knew Davion Mitchell was feeling it because he's not known for his offense. But if he can keep adding skills like that, he can find a role in the league for sure.
Sure.
But Hero was a dog in this one, man.
He was cooking.
really impressed me this season. I think this was like a culmination of his season coming not to an end because I'll be honest, I think the Heat are going to win tomorrow night. I think they're going to go to the playoffs ultimately.
Yeah, they definitely should.
He looked unstoppable last night, bro. Like one on one, like unguardable. Like I don't know. I just didn't give him the respect he deserved, I guess. And so I'm redoing that right now. I'm giving him the respect he deserves. He definitely impressed me last night. Just looked unguardable.
I wonder why
the 3-point. My bad. I keep talking over you. Go ahead.
I wonder why you didn't give him the respect.
It was that Kentucky guard battle, those conversations. Yeah.
I thought it would have had something to do with, because the Heat did put your sixes out in what was it, 22? Yeah. They did that. So maybe you feel some type of way about that. I don't know. But
nah, bro. I don't hold grudges about that stuff, man. It sticks with me for about a season. Like this whole season, I've hated the Knicks.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna move on from it. Like I don't care if they win in the postseason. I actually we'll talk about it. I would love to see Detroit beat them. I would love to see it. But it's not because I hate the Knicks. It's because the Detroit Pistons is just a good basketball story, I guess. Who do you like tomorrow? Heat and Hawks.
The Heat for sure. Yeah, I got my guy Wiggs. He's not with us no more, but I still
the game. Yeah,
still got to show love. So
he had 20 and 9, hit 4 threes last night. That's solid. Bam played all right. Yeah, I got the Heat as well. I didn't like what I saw from Atlanta. Once again, no Jalen Johnson. They looked really good early on. They looked really good.
That's a huge loss. No Jalen Johnson and your boy George Niang, man. I don't know why. Like for some reason, every time I just see him I can't help but think about the interaction you and him had on Twitter, bro. I can't help but think about it. It's like,
man, it is so funny. It's so funny you said that because I looked at the score sheet for this game, bro, and one of my talking points I swear I was gonna bring, but I didn't even want to be a hater. I didn't. But what I was gonna say is that if George's Niang is your second leading scorer in a playoff scenario, you are not going to be winning that game.
Well, guess what? If I'm on the opposing team, I'm living with that. I ain't losing no sleep over that. I promise you.
The minivan, dog, they call him that for a reason in Philly, dog. Because that man was moving as slow as a fucking minivan. But yeah, that's how I feel. No, whatever. He's an NBA player at the end of the day. I can't say anything to him. But I do like the Heat, man. Yeah. D-Rab says Heat and Mavs parlay. It's not a bad idea. Kind of like that. Let's get into the first round matchups, bro. We've waited long enough here, I feel. We've basically decided who our 8 seeds are. Let's just say.
Yeah, Dallas and Miami.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it out front. I'm gonna pick the 1 seed regardless of who it is. It's the 8 seed. So I'm gonna pick Cleveland regardless of who the 8 seed is, and I'm going to pick OKC regardless of who the 8 seed is. So for context, I guess we can say that I have it written in here as Miami, but if it's not, if it's the Atlanta Hawks, I guess the way I would put it with that, Cleveland and Miami, I guess we can start there with the East. I see that going maybe 5 games. Maybe the Heat win 1 game. Maybe.
That's funny. I could agree, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were to go 6. I'm not gonna lie.
6?
Because I feel like Miami do match up pretty well with Cleveland. Like when you look at defensively, they got wingers now. And in the front court, they got Bam and Khalil Ware. They can match up with Mobley and Allen. And then they got Tyler Hero, Darius Garland. They match up pretty well. But also, I think the Cavaliers handle business, though. But I'll say Cavs in 6.
6.
Yeah. I'd give Miami 2 games.
Let me ask you this, because I look at that and I think like that's fine. Like it's a series win at the end of the day. But if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers and you have the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, you outpace the Boston Celtics. Like, does it matter how many games it takes to get them out of there? Just from like a confidence standpoint?
To some degree, no, because I think it was Brian Windhorst. I was watching ESPN yesterday. He brought up a good point. Like, to a certain extent, when you're in the playoffs, like the seeding really matters. Like Cavaliers 1 seed, Miami the 8 seed,
Yeah.
and it's like it's this level of an expectation. Like, Cleveland should just sweep Miami, but Miami is not a bad team.
Yeah.
Like I said, they match up pretty well with the Cavaliers. So, to your point, I would say no. As long as they get the job done, that's all that ultimately matters. So, you know.
Yeah, I guess I feel you. I guess I just look at them like you got up into the 60 wins. It's not that the Heat are a bad team. It's just, would the Celtics sweep the Heat? And I guess that's what I'm going to do this postseason is look at the way the Celtics are playing versus the way the Cavs are playing out east, just to kind of gauge them against each other. Maybe that's not fair.
Um,
But
that's a
I
good
guess
way to
I
look
don't
at it.
have Boston sweeping Miami if they played. I guess I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, you can make the argument for both teams because both teams have a lot of firepower in the start lineup and off the bench. So, yeah, you can make an argument that Miami could get swept. So,
Just depends. It's like, do you get that hero from last night? Like, do you get like that team?
hmm
But I mean, what we're asking for 38 from Hero and to control the game against Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. Like it feels like a lot. I am going with Cleveland in 5. Let me ask you this. Who's like your MVP of this series? Who's your best player on the court this series?
Donovan Mitchell for sure.
He's gonna show out in the first round.
hmm
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Um do you want to do back and forth between the East and West, or do you want to just go down each matchup in the East and then each
Um,
matchup in the West? How do you
we
want
can
to
do
do
it back. We can do it back and forth because D-Rab over here, he just made a bold comment, you know,
it?
about OKC. So we get kind of do back and forth.
Okay. Let me read this one before we move on. So Heat got hot at the right time, but I do think they could get swept by Boston.
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna
think
play
we can.
Cleveland though if they get the 8 seed.
I think it definitely is still a game or two against the Cavs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can see that. I really can.
I think the Heat would get at least a game. I guess I would put it that way,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and to your point, I mean, you do got the Cavs in 5, so
yeah,
yeah, I got the Cavs
better.
in 6.
So he says better defensive players by a mile with Cleveland or Boston against Heat.
Hmm.
I think the Heat have some really good defensive players. Like Khalil Ware is nasty.
Yeah,
Um,
Lamb, Khalil Webb,
yeah,
Wiggins,
they got
Davion Mitchell, you
some
know,
young guys.
Kyle Anderson over there. They got some guys that can guard now.
The Cleveland is a different animal. Well, no, I'll save that for the next Eastern Conference series because there is something I wanted to bring to your attention to see if you heard about it, but we'll revisit that. Wanted to pull up. Oh, it's already pulled up. OKC losing. This is what D-Rab says. Now, obviously, it depends on the Mavs. Mavs or Grizzlies. We both think it's going to be the Mavs, so we'll work with the Mavs here for time's sake, I guess you could say. How are you feeling towards OKC? Let's keep it there. How are we feeling towards OKC going to the postseason?
I think they got a chip on their shoulder. They've been hearing all the noise saying that they're frauds and that they're just regular season merchants and all that. But I think that they can make a deep run for sure. I mean, they have all the pieces. They got SGA, who in my opinion is the MVP. Chet Holmgren, he's back in the lineup. He's been playing much better. And yeah, J Dub All Star this year, so I think that they can make a deep run, man, for sure.
Yeah, no, I do feel you on that. I'm taking OKC serious this postseason. I think anytime you have a regular season like they had, anytime you have the MVP
Hmm.
in SGA, you're gonna have a chance to win it all. Um, AD gonna body Chat. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with that. I think AD can have a series. I think he definitely will. Um, I just think OKC has too much firepower. You add in Hartenstein, you add in a healthy Chet to that last year's squad that I know they went out in the postseason early, even as the 1 seed last year, but it just feels like that was a learning experience. Like they were very young. They're still very young. But they added a guy like Hartenstein. I think that can make a big difference in the
Caruso as
postseason.
well.
Caruso, yeah, I'm forgetting about Caruso and his experience as well, man. So you add those guys to the mix. They're so good defensively. And then once again, you got your go-to guy, your guy that can get to the free throw line, your guy that can play make for others. He can do everything when you look at SGA. But oh, he's going in on Chet. Damn. No belief in Chet. I get it. Chet is small body. I get it.
I mean, it, I will say this, bro. Like, if the Mavericks had Kyrie, you could make the argument it'd be one heck of a series. But bro, no Kyrie Irving, the Thunder is winning this, bro. Come on now, what are we talking about here? Like, AD is good. Maybe we get a better version of Clay, but that's just not enough to defeat this young OKC team, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Like
really
the
not.
Mavs aren't getting the ball up the court with the lineup that they had on last night.
Right.
They need a point guard on the floor, like a guard on the
Yeah.
floor, in order to get the
Yeah.
ball up the court against OKC. Like that's my thing.
Because if Luke Dort and Alex Caruso is full court pressing you, bro, like you're gonna turn the ball up every time. I promise you.
And
So
they got a deep squad. They do got a full rotation. Um Says they won't win that series, but they'll win game one. So you
honestly,
think they're gonna win two?
I think they just win one. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like I think they win one. Yeah. Maverick fans are just over this season, bro. They just ready to move on. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel that. We'll see. We'll see what the Mavs look like tomorrow against the Grizzlies. But man, I think it's more about OKC for me than the Mavs. I think OKC would sweep them. Honestly, I just think like
That's
if you're OKC and you've won close to 70 games this season, and these guys don't even have Kyrie Irving,
mhm.
let's get these guys out of here.
Right.
Let's get these old asses out of here. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be
Yeah, like
disrespectful, but this young, like, exciting OKC team that has dominated this year,
mhm.
I
I
just feel
feel you on
like
that.
you said, I think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. I think that's the difference.
Yeah. I feel you on that. I think for me, man, like I think I can see them getting swept, but I think I'm just giving AD and
Yeah.
Clay the benefit of the doubt because I kind of maybe I'm holding on to like old things that they've done in the playoffs. Maybe I should just let that go, but I could see them getting swept. Though, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like, for me, it is like it's more of a statement sweep in a sense, right?
Hmm.
Whereas it's funny because I think Dallas is going to beat Memphis tomorrow.
They
But
should.
when I look at the matchup with OKC, I for some reason feel like Memphis would be the better matchup. I don't think it's for some reason. I think it's
No,
because
I
John
could.
Morant and Desmond
Yeah, that's
Bain
what.
and
Yeah,
Jaren Jackson
I
Jr.
could.
Like I think that's why.
Yeah, the firepower. The
Yeah,
SGA, J Dub, Desmond Bain, Chet, Jaron Jackson Jr., Isaiah Hartenstein, Zach Edey. So I can see that for sure.
matchups. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
just with the
maybe
Mavs
Memphis do
for
pull
one
it out
game.
tomorrow though.
Right.
Yeah.
It could. It's yeah, it's not I feel like that one, I don't know. Which one am I more confident in?
And
The
then
Heat or
like
the Mavs?
the Grizzlies are hosting this playing game, by the way.
It
So
is in Memphis.
yeah, it is in Memphis. Yeah. So
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Because I do feel like Memphis is the better matchup for OKC. I feel like Memphis would win a game or two.
So okay, that's what I was just about to ask you. So let's just say Memphis do win. Do you think they put up a better fight than Dallas? And then also, like, do you think that they can potentially push this series to 7 games? If
Man,
John Moran is just 75% healthy, like, can give you like 24 to 23 points per game in this series.
Ja 75% healthy. No, I
Okay,
think they could do 5 or 6. I think they
that
could
was
do
six.
5 or 6. If Ja is healthy and like in that mode, you know what I mean? Like he kind of got into it down the stretch of the regular season.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
he averaging 30 points in April, shooting
Yeah.
40% from 3-point range. So
So if he was healthy, yeah, I think they could push him 7. I think the Grizzlies at times this season have been that good. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like they've been a
yeah,
top 4 seed at a certain points for a long time.
hmm yeah.
But
I had them like potentially contending for a title. Like they had all the pieces, in my opinion, but
it
obviously
just
things started to
fell
go left.
apart.
So yeah,
Fell apart
everything just went
brutally.
left. So
Weird. Weird. And I think that's ultimately part of the feeling that goes into picking the Mavs is the Mavs are playing with no pressure right now. Like if
hmm
they go
yeah,
home, the fans are happy, like you said. Like
yeah,
there's no pressure right now.
they
Kyrie's
really,
out.
really
They
hurt
don't
that.
need to win anything. When you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, it's like, yeah, you fired your coach. You got some injuries mixed in there. The rookie Jalen Wells, right? But
hmm
it's still Ja. It's still Desmond Bain. It's still Jaren Jackson Jr. It's your core. And they're still out the first round or out in the play-in tournament again after a disappointing year filled with injuries and turmoil last year. It's just it feels like a lot of pressure building up on the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you fire your coach. Maybe there is no pressure the same way there is none on the Mavs. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
yeah.
Um, let's head back over to the East, man. Boston and Orlando. This
Mhm.
is the one thing I wanted to bring up to you before we really get into this series. I saw something about a Jaylen Brown knee injury.
Oh, you did.
I've seen from Boston reporters, fans, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He's going to go. It's just a little weird, you know?
hmm
And then all of a sudden, what? He sits out game 1 or and then get like I don't know. It's just something I'm going to keep my eyes on. I don't think it's something that's going to hurt them too much against the Magic. I think they could beat the Magic without Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, they definitely should.
Down the stretch,
Um,
though, it could hurt them
yeah, they definitely can for sure.
if it's anything. But how do you feel about this matchup, man?
I think Boston take care of business. This definitely shouldn't go no more than 5 games. If I'm being honest, like you know, you brought up a good point earlier. Like if it's a huge if Cole Anthony Black can somehow play the way that they did in that play-in game, then the Boston Celtics have a problem on their hand for sure. But I don't just really see that being the case here. If I'm being honest with you, like they may have a game, but I don't just see it see them doing it at a consistent rate. If I'm being honest
Yeah,
with you, and then also like no Suggs, he's out for the season. That's a huge loss. Your best
yeah.
wing defender. So hey, like I said, I think Boston take care of business. To your point, even if Jalen Brown doesn't really play a lot of games, they still should take care of business for sure.
I do agree with you. I think Boston just scores at too high of a clip. Like, it's a
Yeah, they
horrible
got a lot of
matchup.
weapons.
Horrible matchup for Orlando, in my opinion. I think like not that Orlando would like contest with the Cavaliers or like take them to 7 or anything. I
Yeah.
think they would challenge the Cavs a little bit better, just matchup wise compared to Boston. Don't get me wrong; it's not that much difference. I'm talking about maybe Orlando winning a game or 2 versus winning none.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll win a game against Boston. I really don't. I think Paolo
That's
could
fair.
ball out for a game. Franz could ball out for a game, and Boston will just score 130. Like they shoot so many threes that a team like Orlando is, unless they are just scorching hot, are not going to be able to keep up with a team like Boston. KCP, right? All these guys playing well the other night for Orlando. KCP still was not good. And I think that's the guy that I would look to, more, not more than a guy like Cole Anthony, but maybe more than a guy like Anthony Black as to what are you going to do for me this postseason? Are you going to show up at all? And he just hasn't shown any signs that he's going to do so. But yeah, lean on the young guys for sure. I think Anthony Black, lean on him. He was 100% for the 3-point line the other night. That obviously won't stick, but if he can just hit one or two, that's going to make a big difference for Orlando, who obviously struggles to get that outside shooting.
Yeah.
So
That was one of their biggest problems in last year's playoffs. They just could not
yeah,
shoot. Like Paulo was struggling, friends, but not just those guys, the whole team in general. They didn't really
yeah,
have no legitimate 3-point shooters. And to your point with KCP, like, he has not shot the ball well, particular this whole season. Like, it's been a struggle for him. And this is a guy that you went out there and got and just hoping that he can, help turn his team around or
yeah.
whatever in that department to be exact. And he's just been bad. So it sucks, but hopefully, he got a chance to redeem himself in this
Turn it
postseason
on.
run. So we'll
Yeah.
see, if he turn it on. So yeah.
So you got Boston in how many games?
I'm gonna say Boston at 5, man.
5. Got you.
Yeah.
I got them sweeping, but I don't know. I'm going. Okay, no, I didn't have Cleveland sweeping. I had a gentleman's sweep for Cleveland, sweep for Boston. Okay, see, we'll see. That really depends on the matchup for me as far as the amount of games in that one. Let's talk about your Warriors, man. We're here already. I can't believe it. The Houston Rockets, number 2 seed, taking on the 7 seed Warriors, man. How are we feeling going into this matchup, brother?
Feeling good, man. The last time I played Houston, it was one heck of a game, man. There was a lot of chirping going on. And man, I just know that it's gonna be a lot of drama involved in this series, man, with Draymond and Dylan Brooks, Shangoon. It's gonna be fun for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, man. Like I got a lot of, takeaways and notes, been doing my scout report on the Houston Rockets and different things that we have to execute to beat these guys. And yeah, man, I feel like we match up pretty well with them. Obviously, they have some things over us, and it's the same way for us. Like we do things better than them, and so yeah, I would have to say Golden State in 6, man, for sure. I could see us beating them in
Damn,
6.
in 6.
Yeah,
In
that's a
6, you're
games,
getting them
bro.
out of there. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's not crazy.
By
It's
the
not
way,
crazy.
like we're the 7th seed and we're favored in this matchup. By the way, so
That's interesting. That's interesting, bro. I think this is gonna go 7, man. I really
I
do.
can feel it. I can feel it.
It really depends on Golden State's other guys. Let me put it this way. If Golden State is playing the way that they played against the Memphis Grizzlies the other night, I don't think that that's going to beat Houston. I don't think that it can be just Steph and Jimmy and them going off. Maybe for a game. They could win a game like that. But I think guys like Pods, Moody, Hield, like these guys are going to have to hit some shots. They're going to have to contribute consistently. And the only reason I say that is because Houston just has such a deep. It's not just talented. They have talent at the top. It's not I don't know. It depends how you view these guys in their starting lineup. Jalen Green and Sengun are interesting, but I don't know. Elite, top end talent, but they have a lot of like great to good talent. And 10, 11 guys that they can throw out on the court on a given night that can contribute heavily. And I think that's what worries me is like tiring Jimmy down and tiring Steph down throughout this series. If Houston wants to come out and run, if they want to go run and gun, depends how they want to play. But I think this is going to be a big game for the Golden State role player, a big series for the Golden State role players, especially for the matchup. I think there's other matchups in the postseason that could have been better for like a superstar mano-a-mano type of thing. And I do think Steph and Jimmy are going to get theirs. That's why I say 7 games, because I think it's going to be a battle. Man, this is a tough series. It's a tough series to pick because you got experience versus like a deep, young, exciting roster.
Yeah, like okay. Now that you brought that up, like this would be Shangoon, Green, Jabbar Smith Jr., Eason, Thompson, So 5 of their role players first playoff run, and
Yeah,
overall, I think our experience is just outweigh that. Like that's 5 of like their top 7 scorers.
yeah,
And this is their first playoff run for sure. Like I know they like to run the lineup of Adams and Shangoon, so they'll probably kill us on the glass with that. But I'm not really worried about it. But what I will say is this, man. Like if Ime Udoka think that he's finna face guard Steph and blitz him the way he did in that regular season game a few weeks ago, he got another thing coming. Because I promise you, we're going to make the proper adjustments and we're going to kill Shangoon in that paint, bro.
who
That is
guarded
what
him?
I'm telling you. Huh?
Who'd they have guarding them? Was it Dylan Brooks?
It was Fred Van Vliet. It was a short
Interesting.
Thompson. It was everybody. Like
Yeah,
they
different
was
guy.
every time we set the screen for Steph, they would just blitz him every time. And so that's why I said, guy like to my which I'm leading to my other point, like Kaminga, he would do wonders in this series, bro. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, like if he set the
good point.
screen, slip to the rim. I'm not like Shangoon is not a shot blocker. Like I don't fear Shangoon down there. Like I, we can get him in foul trouble and get him out of there for sure.
Yeah,
But Kaminga was our leading scorer against Houston this season. He averaged like 21 points per game against them. So yeah, man, just hoping that he can get some run and go out there and show Steve Kerr why he should play him. But yeah, I can see why you would say 7 games because this series definitely can go there. Like it's a lot of pros and cons on both sides, but ultimately,
yeah.
man, I think that our experience and our championship pedigree will just ultimately help us get over that hump for sure. But we got our work cut out for us, and I think that a guy like Kaminga would be the X factor to help us beat the Houston Rockets in 6 games. So
That's a good call out with Kaminga for sure. It's
yeah,
something to pay attention to with Steve Kerr. See if he's getting him in this series early, right? Or does he become
mhm.
like a emergency option late in
Definitely
the
should
series?
be. He should be.
Exactly. Let me ask you this: who I don't like the word worry, but I guess how you who worries you the most on the Houston Rockets? Like as far as matchups, is it a Sengun, a Jalen Green? Like who do you worry could go off in a matchup with the Warriors?
Probably say Ashur Thompson. I think,
Interesting.
yeah. When I look at him compared to Green and Shangoon and Easton and all those guys, Jabari Smith, he can definitely be the X factor for them for sure. So I had to say him.
Yeah, and he's a very much like do it all type of player. So I see what you mean. He could dominate it from a ton of different standpoints, defensively, rebounding, and then obviously scoring the rock as well. That's the thing, man. They got what 7 guys that are scoring double digits this season. Is that right?
Yeah, 5 of their 7 top scorers for sure will be making their first playoff appearance. Yeah, I think they got like 7 guys averaging over 10 points or just 10 points. So
And then Cam
yeah.
Whitmore averages like 9.4. So yeah, they got a deep roster. It is interesting, man.
For
I'm
sure.
like going back and forth in my head. I'm like, do I like really like I think I have to see it to believe it with Jalen Green and Sengun. Like I would
Yeah,
just have to see it to believe it.
that's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
where that's my approach too. Like when it comes down to shooting, I think that's gonna have to like we're gonna have to dare them to make shots. Like we're gonna have to pack the paint. They're not a just high value 3-point shooting team. They like to get downhill or whatever. So they got guys that can hit shots, but I dare them to hit them. I'm not gonna lie to you. So
It's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be a lot of shit talking.
oh yeah.
How do the refs let the games be played? You know what I mean? Are they letting them get handsy with Steph? Are they letting them get physical with Steph on the screens? There's a lot to factor in this matchup, man. It's going to be interesting. I think it definitely is one of the better matchups of this first round for sure. Just the history. I mean, the Dylan Brooks, the Fred Van Vliet stuff. Um, should be a great matchup, man. I'm gonna go with the Warriors in 7. Same reasons as like pedigree experience, playoff experience specifically. This is the first rodeo for the most part for Houston. They did bring in Ime Udoka. They did bring in Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet for these type of moments, for this
Yes,
experience.
Steven Adams as well,
Steven
Jeff
Adams.
Green.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
brought these guys in for that. So 7 games, we're not saying they don't have a chance. You pick 6 games as well. That's not to say Houston doesn't have a chance. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jimmy and Steph in this one, man. That one's tough for me, honestly. That one's tough.
Yeah. It'll be a fun matchup.
It will be. Let's head back over east, man. New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons, 3 versus 6. I think this is it's an interesting matchup, man. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It is. It really is.
New York. What are they going to be on? What are the New York Knicks going to be on?
I think they're going to be at that type of time for sure. They're looking to make a statement out there. So no better way to do that than to go against one of the hottest young teams in the league in the first round in the Detroit Pistons. So, and to your point, like the New York Knicks, we all know what their fan base is about, but Detroit got some diehard fans over there too.
They
So
do.
yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Maybe we see some fans, fight.
Hey, I laugh, but like you're not lying. Probably.
Yeah, like
Probably for
they
real.
care that much. So So
Yo, in the regular season, Detroit beat them 3 out of 4 times. Obviously, context matters in the regular season.
oh yeah,
Beat them 3 out of 4 times. I guess the Knicks won the first one, and then Detroit won the last 3. So they matched up decently in the regular season. Obviously, the postseason's a different animal. We saw what the Knicks did last year. They got a little beat up down the stretch, and that ultimately cost them. But they're an even better team this year, you could argue, with Cat. Detroit, man, Cade Cunningham. It's a weird matchup. I feel like the Knicks should win this matchup, man. I am picking the Knicks in 6.
Are you picking the Knicks? I thought you had Detroit winning.
I am picking the Knicks in 6, man. I'm picking the Knicks in 6. Did I say that before?
You picked Detroit. You picked them earlier in the show. You picked Detroit. Okay,
Really?
I see what we got going on here.
Did I pick
Yeah,
Detroit earlier in the show?
Yeah, you said you had Detroit beat New York.
No, I said I want Detroit. I want Detroit to beat the Knicks. That's what I said because I was talking about my hate for the Knicks from the last postseason. Right. I said I want them to beat the Knicks.
We get it, bro. We get it.
I want them to beat the Knicks.
Bro, we get it. Okay.
They're not going to, though. The Knicks. I got the Knicks winning this in 6. The thing I'm watching, man, can Cade Cunningham outperform Jalen Brunson and just prove that he's clearly a better player in this series? Can he do that?
Yeah. See, like,
with all due respect to Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. That's the thing to me. Like, what version of Jalen Brunson is? Like, is he 75% healthy? Because he just came back like a week ago. Because that really matters in the first round matchup like this. Like the Pistons, this is not going to be by any means easy.
Right.
They got their work cut out for them. They got some young guys over there, very talented. So mixed in with some vets. But ultimately, man, I think New York gets it done either way. This would be a nice matchup for Cade Cunningham first playoff run for sure. Just getting that experience against elite defenders like OG and Mikal Bridges. But it's for sure going to be chippy. They got Carl Towns down there. They're going to probably try to punk him. Just that trying to embody like that bad boy Pistons era again. Yeah. So, yeah, but ultimately, though, I say New York in 6. I can see the Knicks winning this. Yeah.
I'm looking back at the matchups, right? And so they played, when was this? April 10th. So that was what? Last week?
That was 7 days ago.
Now, no OG in this game, so take it with a grain of salt. But they did have Mikal Bridges, Cat, Jalen Brunson was out there, Deuce McBride. You go over to the Detroit Pistons. And I just immediately see Cade Cunningham with 36, 16 for 24 shooting, 8 assists, just completely controlling the game. Let's go back to the game before that. Cade Cunningham, 36, 4 for 8 from the 3, 4 assists. Once again, controlled this game in a win for Detroit. Jalen Brunson had 31 in this game, 31 and 11 in this game. Cat had 26 and 12. Didn't matter. Detroit wins 124 to 119.
Okay.
And I'm just looking at the third one, just seeing Cade Cunningham in the third win. 29 points, 15 assists, 10 rebounds, 9 for 17 from the field, 5 for 8 from the 3. Cade Cunningham cooks the Knicks for whatever reason. It's matchup, I'm assuming.
Okay. Real quick, how many of those matchups did OG play? If you can see.
So he played in this one, the one with the triple-double. He did not play in. Let's see if he played in the second W. He did. Yeah, I mean, Brunson had 31. Cat had 26. Mikal had 27. OG had 10. Josh Hart had 12. Didn't matter. Malik Beasley off the bench with 22.
This is actually going to be a good matchup. Like, this can really go 7 games, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, I'm almost feeling like I am sleeping, even with my want for Detroit to win. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like I'm sleeping. Like, I guess put it this way: if Cade Cunningham has like a breakout postseason type of series, mm-hmm. Detroit could fuck around and win the series. Excuse my language.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie. I'm switching that. I got Detroit in 7, bro. You got New York in 6. I got Detroit in 7. And plus, we're agreeing too much anyway. So
yeah, you're right. You're right.
I gotta be the alpha here, man. I can't keep doing this.
The Leo.
Bro, chill out.
The leader. He's got to be the alpha.
Anyway,
I love it. Yeah, but nah, I feel it.
Detroit 7, though. Give me Detroit 7. By the way, I'm posting this clip on TikTok so we can have receipts. I'm posting every first round prediction we got on TikTok. So make sure you guys follow the TikTok page so you won't miss it. And yeah, nice
I know that's right. I got the Knicks in 6. Slim's got the Pistons in 7. We'll see how it goes. I want Detroit to win. I just don't think they got it yet, but that would be a hell of an accomplishment for sure. Let's head back west, man. LA Lakers versus the Minnesota T-Wolves. I saw Ant Edwards in a little interview the other day. he always just has something funny to say, but he said, yeah, like everybody's rooting for the Lakers. Everybody wants the Lakers to win. Mm-hmm. So looks like they're coming out with a little bit of chip on their shoulder. LeBron, Luka on the other side of things there in LA, man. How are you looking at this one? How are you feeling about this matchup?
Man, bro, I kid you not. Like, I watch a lot of games and different things like that, but bro, if I'm keeping it a buck with you, I literally don't know who's going to win this. I really don't. Like, maybe I can give you an answer to this after game 1.
I feel that.
But it's like, when I look at both sides, like, I look at the T-Wolves side, right? Obviously, Rudy Gobert is going to get picked on. We know that, right? No secret. But on the flip side of that, Luka is definitely going to get picked on. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of cancels each other out. And it's like, okay, we know Anthony Edwards can provide you in the series. He had one heck of a postseason last year. You know what LeBron can do in moments like these. He rises to the occasion for sure.
Yeah.
And I look around both teams, like the others that they have. They have Julius Randle. Obviously, he's just not consistent like that. But yes, picked on D-Rab. Luka is going to get picked on. Yes, whether it be Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, he's going to get picked on.
Why you got traded, man?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I was thinking hard. It's like, bro, I really don't know who's going to win this matchup. Like, I really don't. So it's an NA for me right now. Like, it's a TBD. It's a TBD to be determined. Like, who's going to win? So
that's fair. I'll give you a pass. How about that? But nah, I feel you honestly. This is a tough matchup for me to pick as well. My Lakers hate. Like my Lakers like non-bias. I guess I don't
You
know.
can do
I guess it
that,
is
bro.
bias. I biasly dislike the Lakers, not because of my man D-Rab. It's nothing personal there. It's just things like Luca getting traded to them. That's why I don't like the Lakers. Okay. Things
We
like
all
that
know
not
what's like
making
that.
sense. So I know that plays a part. I know that my inclination, I like Anthony Edwards as a player.
Hmm.
I know that plays a part in me wanting the T Wolves to win this series. Um, it is hard to pick against LeBron in the first round.
This is tough, bro. Like, what? I mean, bro, like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm not finna sit up here and just lie, bro. Like, I really don't know who's gonna win. So,
So, D-Rab, you had the Lakers winning the series in how many games? I'm curious.
I think he said in 6 in our group chat, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. So,
You don't get to control that.
click my yeah, yeah. See you later, alligator. Get out of here, bro. Anyway, back to the real topic at hand here.
Yeah.
Um,
So he
this is gonna
says
be a,
Lakers in 6.
okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a good matchup, man. I think Anthony Edwards is going to have a field day because when I look at the starting lineup, I don't know who's going to check him. They got Jackson Hayes down low, so he's going to look to get downhill and you know attack. So I don't know, man.
Which Julius Randle do you get?
He's the X factor they want to win for sure.
Yeah.
If he if he get him at least 19 or 20 points consistently on pretty good shooting splits, then hey man, I like Minnesota chance. I'm not gonna lie to you. And by the way, I really don't believe in Rudy Gobert like that. So
That's
they
where
may have to go small by putting
the
Randall or
belief
Nas
the
Reed at the
belief goes
five.
away with Rudy Gobert.
One of the two, like Randall at the five or Nas Reed. So yeah.
This is the problem with Julius Randle, bro. I'm gonna read you his point totals from the month of what, April? Yeah,
Mhm.
April. So first game, 26. I'll go from there. 26 points, 11 points, 15 points, 9 points, 31 points, 21 points, 10 points. Like it's the fluctuation. Can we just get 17 to 20 points per game? To your
Man,
point. Like, can
I'm
we
not.
just get the 17 to 20 consistently?
I couldn't help but think of D'Angelo Russell when you was doing that, like 17,
So
8,
similar. It is very
12,
similar.
22. Like can't help but think of D'Angelo Russell. But nah, man, I feel you on that. Julius Randle has always kind of been like that. He has had these
Yeah.
games, and it's like one thing I will say about Julius though, man. And I watched this man do this. When it comes down to his confidence, though, like the brother can miss 10 straight shots, he is not going to stop shooting
Gonna
the ball.
keep letting them fly.
He's going to keep shooting it. Like I watched this, I was like, with Julius, what are we doing here, bro? But he'll keep shooting the ball. So, and
Do
man,
you
whatever, dude.
do you this man do you obviously feel like Minnesota is a better or a worse team than last year without Cat? Like, are they obviously worse off, or could they end up playing
Um,
better with this unit? Like they did add Dante DiVincenzo. Like Julius Randle he's not as good as Cat, but he is solid. They've
mhm,
added the rookie Rob Dillingham, right? Like
mhm. I think when we first broke this down, I was like, I think Randall can just bring that physicality, something that Cat couldn't do in
yeah,
last year playoffs. Just embracing it, just bringing that toughness, that dogness, that competitive nature, or whatever to the team. He's not going to get picked on a lot like how Cat was getting picked on defensive end. Let's put it like that. So, um,
that's a good point. That's a good
yeah,
point.
I think when you look at it from that perspective, that to what's the dude name? The Mavericks GM. Um,
Oh my
man,
god, I'm
what's the
blanking.
dude name? You know who I'm talking about? They traded Luca.
Yeah,
Anyway, defense,
I cannot remember his name right now.
defense wins championships. So that's probably the route that the T Wolves wanted to go. Just Cat is just pure offense.
Nico
Julius
Harris.
Randle. Julius Randle's not this all NBA defender by any means, but he's definitely a better defender than Cat, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I do agree with that. Nico Harrison is the GM for the
Yeah,
Mavs.
Nico Harrison, yeah. And by
I
the
could
way, he
not
has
remember
doubled
that.
down this week about trading Luca
I
in
saw
numerous
something about
interviews.
that.
So
That's
yeah.
interesting.
He's
Defense
standing
wins
firm on
championship.
defense winning championships. So hey.
If the Lakers ultimately go out, it will be for one or two reasons, in my opinion. Luka defensively, or LeBron gets injured or is tired, right? Like worn down. Those are the only two. Like I shouldn't say the only two, but those are the main two detractors for me when I think about ways the Lakers could end up going out of the postseason. But I do feel what D-Rab said earlier. I mean, LeBron did go off in these games against Minnesota, so he definitely likes that matchup. I don't know, man. I just feel like Ant's gonna flip the switch. I'm going with the T-Wolves in 7, but
Ooh.
it is tough for me, D-Rab. I don't want D-Rab to think I'm like picking on him, picking on the Lakers or nothing.
Man,
He
he'll be all
don't
right, man.
care. He don't care. I know he don't care.
We got a job to do, bro. We're not.
He got a
Can't let
job.
this.
It is what it
This.
is,
Yeah,
man.
we gotta keep it 100, man. You know.
I feel like we could see not like this new version of Ant, but just more of what we saw from Ant last year, where he
But
took over
better.
games,
But
took
better.
over series. So
Yeah, but even better though. And then
even
like
better,
he just
better
came out and
shooter.
said he likes being the underdog. Like to your point, you know, he knows that the Lakers are favored to win this, you know, and he say he likes being the underdog. So, you know.
Yeah, and they are rightfully the underdog. Yeah, I'm gonna take the T Wolves in 7, man. That one's tough though.
Yeah.
That one is tough. Tough to see LeBron and Luka going out in the first round. That's what reality is. It's tough to see that.
Yeah.
Very similar to the Warriors. It's tough to see Steph and Jimmy going out in the first round of the postseason. Let's head back over east, man. Indiana and Milwaukee, the 5 and 6 seed out east. I did see Dame Lillard has got the
Yep.
go to like start practicing or conditioning, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
He should be back sometime soon. Maybe not by this series, but
Yeah. I
some
seen
point
that
in
as
the
well.
postseason. How you feel about this matchup?
Man, so basically they messed up in the first round last year, didn't they?
Pretty sure
Yeah.
this is where Indiana
Okay.
caught people by
And this
surprise.
is and once again, no Damian Lillard. More than likely he won't play in this series, but Giannis is available. Um Man, it's kind of hard for me to just say that the Bucks will take care of business like that because when I look at Indiana, man, they got all those weapons over there on the offensive end, and Tyrese Halliburton has been playing much better to close the season out. So that's going to be tough. I mean, the only way I see the Bucks even standing a chance, if I'm being honest,
Yeah,
is if Kyle Kuzma just kind of be that second option for this team, just stepping up in Damian Lillard role, giving them like close to 20 points, if not over 20 points a game. And then Kevin Porter Jr., you know, he's been balling to close the season out. If he can withstand that level of play, as well as the Bucks got Bobby Porter's back, if all those guys can kind of just up their level of play to match the offensive end of the Indiana Pacers, then I like their chances, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if I had to pick as of right now, I would say the Pacers in 6. Give me the Pacers in 6,
it's a
man.
lot of there was a lot of ifs
Yeah, that's
you
what I was
listed
saying.
there
Like
for the
it's
Bucks.
too many ifs that you got to bank on. So
Yeah,
I know what the Indiana Pacers have over there.
yeah.
So that's why I say give me the Pacers in 6, man, for sure.
Yeah, and I do love that they have Benedict Mathurin coming into this postseason. That's something that they didn't really have last year. They didn't make a ton of upgrades on the roster. I think that was a lot of the hesitation with Indiana coming into this season. They just stuck with what they had for the most part. You got Evander Bucks. That's a good one. I like that one.
This man here, bro. I
That
can't.
is a good one, D-Rav. Um, I like the fact that they have that added addition, that scoring punch, amongst the other plethora of weapons that the Indiana Pacers pose. I think with no Dame Lillard specifically, that just makes things incredibly hard. Giannis will put up 35 a game, like if he feels he has to. He will. I just don't think it's going to be enough game to game to beat this Pacers team. They did go 3-1 against the Pacers in the regular season, though, with Dame.
Okay.
So
with Dame though,
it's a big whiff.
Did he play in all games? I want to assume, right? If I had to take I'm sure he did though. I'm not gonna lie.
The last game that they played was on March 15th, so that was like over a month ago. He did play in that one, so I would imagine.
Well, actually, there's actually some history between these teams too. I don't know if you remember. If you're going back to like last year, you remember that Tyrese Halliburton did the Damian Lillard celly in the NBA Cup tournament game or something like that. So
I didn't ever read about that. Which celebration was it?
The Dame time.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do remember. I remember him doing it. I don't remember.
It was in the NBA Cup game. The Pacers eliminated the Bucks, and they ended up playing the Lakers.
You're right. You're right.
That championship game. So
yeah, so they're gonna come out with a chip on their shoulder. It looks like Dame did play in all the regular season matchups. So I don't know, man. I just feel like the Pacers have too much. I do have the Indiana Pacers in 6 as well. So unfortunately, we do agree there.
Unfortunately, huh?
I'm just playing with you,
bro. Like this man. Anyway, bro, you taking your precious time.
Take a joke.
You taking your precious times going through these series, bro. You know what you're doing, dog.
Let's get out of here. Denver and LA Clippers. Who do you got?
Man, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Like this, I really believe that this series is going 7 games. Like my confidence in that is just different compared to the other series. Like it's like I just know that this series is going 7 games because they match up so well. Like, but I'm not going to lie to you. It really depends on Jamal Murray. Like if he can be, let's just say if he's 80 to 85% healthy, then I think Denver can somewhat, I want to say, in 6 or 7 beat the Clippers. Because what it is, like, obviously, a lot of people are saying the Clippers is going to put out the Nuggets. You said this as well, but it's like my belief in James Harden in the postseason is just not, it's just not high, bro. Like, obviously, I got to give it to him. If I had to vote for an all NBA team, I would definitely put him on that because he's been just that good this season. Like, you got to consider a lot of things for that team. Like, Kawhi Leonard been out pretty much the whole season. James Harden has been keeping that team in the mix of things. As you know, they've been out there winning games. Norman Powell, Zubac, all those guys have taken a leap, and you could say James Harden had a lot to do with that. But it just when it comes down to the postseason, bro, I don't know, man. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, you know, due to how good he's been.
Yeah, you hating
as of late. So, bro, how is I'm hating?
You hating on James Harden, Uno? You hating on him?
Man,
what's up with that?
At the end of the day, we all know what Nikola Jokic will do in this matchup.
But I don't know. Zubac. I don't know. He's gonna have his hands full on the defensive side of things. He's gonna be busy. He's not gonna have the energy to go out there and drop, 30 a game. He'll get his assists, he'll get his rebounds, he'll get you 20, 25. He ain't going out there dropping 30, 35 a game and guarding Zubac in a series. He ain't doing it. You heard it here.
Okay.
You heard it here. It's not happening.
Okay. I would say this, despite my belief not being high in James Harden, I still got I still got the Clippers in 7. I think that they can handle business because to your point, like Zubac, like he's not just shooting threes and whatnot, but he's going to take a toll like on the Joker, like just bumping his chest, doing the sky hook or whatever. He's going to feel all those 18 or 17 points he's going to give you in this series. So nonetheless, man, I got the Clippers in 7, so yeah.
Likewise. I got the Clippers in 7 as well, man. I think it's a hell of a matchup, as you mentioned. Jokic, he's gonna get his. I'm joking to an extent. I do think you forgot to mention one guy, and his name's Kawhi Leonard. He's the
I
difference
ain't
with the
forgetting about
Clippers.
Kawhi.
I know you did. I'm just messing
But
with
I
you. You
will say
saved
this
him for
though.
me. You saved him for
Like,
me.
yeah.
The
Yeah, because
claw.
you've been slipping with him, brother. You've been forgetting about the man, but
Yeah, not no
uh
more.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I can't just process like I can't wrap my head around them firing Mike Malone either. So I don't just think that they're gonna go too far anyway. So,
That's a
as
good
good as the
point.
Joker is, bro, like no head coach, like come on now. So
That's
yeah.
tough. It's tough. It's tough. And I do, as much as Harden does have his struggles in the postseason, I
Mhm.
think he can give you one game in this series where maybe he goes off for 35 plus, right? And you win that game, and he wins you that game, 35 and 10.
Yeah.
But they do have the backup supply of scoring that if Harden's having an off night, he can just go into playmaker mode. Norm Powell, Kawhi, different guys on this team. Zubac can be a monster at
Chris
times.
Dunn, Derrick
Chris
Jones
Dunn was
Jr.,
hitting threes. Yeah, yeah. So I do like the Clippers at
Benjamin
7.
Simmons.
Ben Simmons, bro. I'm not even gonna hate on him. He the way they use him in minimal minutes, the role, it's a good fit.
I will
Like,
say this. And when we played them this past Sunday, he was huge for them, like in the limited role and the
yeah,
limited minutes. He got them like a lot of second chance opportunities. Once again, the brother did not look up at the rim not one time. I kid you not. He did not look up at the rim. I kid you not. But I see the
who
report,
he is.
man, and it's like I think that the Clippers plan on using him to guard the Joker. Yeah. So
It's
that's
not a bad
interesting.
idea.
It's an interesting matchup.
Because what you would put him on the joke? Well, who's their starting lineup?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think he's going to be the backup big now.
Okay,
So their starting lineup is Harden, Chris Dunn, Powell, Kawhi, and Zubac.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that's going to be a hell of a matchup, nonetheless. We both have it going. What, 7? You had him in 7 as well.
Yeah. Clippers in
Um,
7.
so we'll see, man. That's the first round predictions. I believe we covered them all, right? All 4 in
Yeah,
each
that's all of them. Yeah.
conference, man. We've been on here for over an hour. I do want to get us out of here, man. Do you want to pick like champions, all of that next show, rather though, just so we have time to go through it all? I know it's going to be after some of the games have gone through over the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, we'll be fine, man. Yeah, we can definitely cover this next episode. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool with me as well. Well, if you're still out there watching with us, please, if you haven't already, head over to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button for the NBA to the Galaxy podcast, featuring myself. You can find me at Scotty Drown on X. My man over to the right of me, Slim. You can find him on X at RTR30111. Be sure to do so to keep up with us. We will see you next time. Should be back next Tuesday on a regular show. And we'll dig into these
Make sure you
playoff
guys
matchups
tap
some
into the
more.
playoffs, man. It starts this weekend, so
Yeah,
yeah.
man. It's exciting. It's exciting times, brother.
Yes, sir.
We will see you guys next episode. Peace.
No, D-Rab, we're not